Hey, everybody, welcome back to another edition of the Fantasy Football Expo podcast. I'm, of course, Bob Lung from the Fantasy Football Expo. For everybody who doesn't know what that is, it is a wonderful event that we have every second weekend of August, this year, August 11th through the 13th, in beautiful Canton, Ohio, home of the Pro Football Hall of Fame. It's an entire weekend of fantasy drafts, parties, and all kinds of amazing stuff and things that you go, man, I wasn't expecting that. And one of those that happened last year is our guest. And our guest is Richard and Boris Vagner from Spoiled Banana Society. For those who go, okay, so what makes them special? Yeah, so Richard just happens to be a Grammy-Award winning musician. So Richard, thank you for coming. Boris, thank you for coming. Guys, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much, Bob. We're very happy to be here. Very excited to talk with you some more about the Expo, about SBS, and we had an amazing time last year. So super excited to be here.
Yeah. So for those who missed it, Richard got up there with his amazing violin and put together an amazing track that everybody just was like, whoa, and a huge round of applause at the end. I won't spoil it because maybe we'll do something again fun this year with it. But again, thank you, Richard, for doing that. We'll see how 2023 plays out. But guys, obviously, we're going to get into the Expo. We're going to talk about it. But let's take a few steps back. Now, for some of us, we go back a few years when I say, when did you start playing fantasy football? I'm pretty sure I started playing fantasy football before both of you were born. I'm thinking that was 1985. Am I right?
Yeah.
Right. Okay. I got it. I kind of figured as much. But when did you guys started actually getting into fantasy football? Did you get together as brothers, create your own league? How did you get started in this wonderful world we call fantasy football?
Yeah. I'll let Boris take one since he started it. He started first.
So, we're 10 years different. So, yeah, I definitely started a lot earlier. I was born in 89. So definitely there's that 4-year gap.
And I was born in 79.
Yeah. But basically, I think I started when I was around 15 years old. I think it's crazy because I didn't really. I've always been a basketball guy growing up. Like Chicago. Jordan was. I grew up with Jordan, and then Kobe. And I just never got into football. I didn't even know any of the rules until like 15, 16 years old. My friends were like, dude, I'm in this fantasy. Like, I don't even know. They're like, yeah, we started this fantasy league. I'm telling you, like, I did this last year. You should try it. You'll get addicted. And, I was like, I don't even know football and all the rules. They're like, dude, we didn't know the rules either. Once you play 1 year, not only will you know the rules, you'll know so much more than you can imagine. You'll be so addicted. And that moment on changed my entire life. I mean, I've been playing ever since, and I love it. I mean, it's honestly like my biggest love. Like,
yeah. And Boris showed me when I was pretty young, probably like 11, 12 years old. I even remember going to like soccer practice and just sitting there on my phone in the parking lot, just like checking like the ESPN, what is it, Sportscast or something?
It used to be called Sportscast. Now they're I don't even know if they have a name for it, but you would follow the team, follow the games.
I would. That's probably why I sucked at soccer at the end of it. But got into it. Then I took a little bit of a break, and then I'd say maybe 4 or 5 years ago, right when the Chiefs started getting good, I got back into it, started really enjoying the Chiefs, and since they've been on a pretty crazy run, I've just been getting really into football, fantasy football, and all that as of recent.
Right. And remind people where you guys live. I know you guys live in different spots in the country.
Yeah, I'm in Los Angeles. Bob was telling us, he has the palm trees back there to, give a little bit of where we're from.
Kind of make it feel good.
And Boris is in Colorado, right, Boris?
Yeah, I'm in Colorado. Originally, I'm from Russia, actually, but I moved to the state. I moved to LA when I was 3 years old. Lived there majority of my life. Richard and our family still live there, and I moved like 5 years ago to Colorado with my wife.
Where at in Colorado?
Erie, Colorado. So
I know Colorado Springs really well.
Yeah,
my wife has relatives that live there.
It's a really pretty place. Colorado Springs is awesome, but I live kind of in between Boulder and Denver.
Okay.
I'm sure people have preferred those
Gotcha.
places.
Cool. So two different worlds, man, from a weather perspective. Well, kind of, right? I mean, we've had snow in Los Angeles and
Yeah,
and
there
now
was
flash floods and all kinds of crazy stuff.
There's also like, it's also still a crazy stat to know, but like Colorado has the most sunny days out of all
you're right. That is
in
true.
America. So like we definitely have it a lot colder. But we
some
also
cold,
have, like,
cold sunny days.
yeah, we just have the sun just comes out and you just like, oh, it's gonna be cold that day. Bam, the sun comes out. Oh no, it's gonna snow that. Like you just don't know what's gonna happen day to day.
Yeah, my wife's relatives have told me that the unpredictability of the weather there is just off the charts. Like it can go from, and occasionally we do that in Ohio, but not as often there. Where I know that they'll have 2 feet of snow, and then within a week it'll be 72. And you're like, what? And you'll get snow in May and June and crazy stuff
Literally,
like that.
I think it ends right like April, maybe beginning of May, where like the last inches of snow will come, which is insane.
Awesome. All right. So you start playing fantasy football. We fast forward. At what point did you guys start thinking about this whole idea of Spoiled Banana Society? Did you create something else first? Did you have other things that you did? What kind of started you moving to something a little bit different that people could get involved with? And how did that lead maybe then into the Spoiled Banana Society, or as we call you guys, SBS?
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
You can do either or, SBS or Spoiled Banana Society.
Yeah.
I think there's a little bit of, there's a few companies out there named SBS.
Yeah.
So
probably.
the funkiness of Spoiled Banana, like Spoiled Banana Society is pretty intriguing. That's why we kind of put it out there.
Yeah, I like it.
But I can go into it a little, and then Richard can go. But basically, I think I kind of grew up being obsessed with the fantasy footballers. For a very long time. I think they're like amazing at podcasting. They're really cool. Three personalities, had good stats, and I've always said, I kind of want to get into that. I kind of want to do podcasting. I want to be like expert. Like I've done fantasy for so long. I want to be an expert talker, in these things. So I think like 2 or 3 years ago, I told my brother we told each other, hey, I think like, why don't we do this? So we kind of like were like. I think we had like the brother. What were we called?
I don't know. Was it Fantasy Brothers or something?
Yeah, Fantasy Brothers.
All right, there you go.
Did that for like a year or something like that, and honestly, then hit COVID and stuff like that, and there's just so many different situations, and then and then leading into that, we got into the NFT space. Like, so we kind of were like. I don't know, like the NFT kind of space hit us. And so we kind of like pivoted from that to creating a company. And I don't know if Richard kind of wants to go into like,
it was actually all pretty organic. We got into the Bored Ape Yacht Club, early, and there was like a bunch of other people in the space. And like, if you have a bunch of people, clearly some of them are going to like fantasy football. And so we started fantasy football leagues, just a couple like dynasty leagues. And in the chat, because we were into NFTs and Web3, in the chat, we were like always talking about, hey, it'd be pretty cool to do this, but for NFTs. Like it hadn't really been done before. And then just naturally through our like Sleeper Dynasty chat, we just started like talking ideas, kind of like formed a small group of us together. And it was born out of that. And, it kind of went crazy. We like gave $1 million worth of prizes the first year. A Bored Ape for first place, just had our second year. I'm probably getting ahead of ourselves, but like, it's been quite an organic, journey.
No, that's awesome. So Banana Society, Spoiled Banana Society is created, and you guys now have been doing it. And how many years has that site, the whole vision been running, for you guys?
Yeah. So the first year, it was actually like, we just created the Dynasty League and we were talking about it. And so by the time we actually put it out, there was actually only 4 weeks left in the season. So our first year, we only had a 4-week season, gave it all those prizes. And then last year was our first like official full season. So a year and a half, I would say at this point.
So not too long. Right. So you guys came to last year to the first Expo. What brought you there? What intrigued you? Like, oh, we should go to this thing. What grabbed your attention? Did you see it on Twitter? Did you hear about it somewhere else? You know, how did you guys hear about the expo initially? And then maybe go into what your thoughts were of your first year there as an exhibitor and an attendee.
Yeah, shout out Mike. Mike, actually, our other co-founder.
Okay.
I don't know how he found you guys, but you know, he told us. I'm sure it was like maybe Twitter or something, but
Okay.
you know, at that time, we were approaching our first full season, and we were like, hey, you know, the NFT space is cool, but like what we were really passionate about was, you know, because we're passionate about NFTs, is how do we bridge the gap of like getting people who aren't into NFTs to NFTs, because a lot of NFTs are like, okay, I bought this picture and then what? But with fantasy football, it's like I bought this team and I set my lineup. Oh, there's a leaderboard. It's kind of like something people can like tangibly understand with the NFT part of it. The NFT part just kind of lets you kind of resell your team or buy a team, or you own that team. It's not just like on Sleeper where you kind of have to like text a buddy if you want to buy their team or something. And so we found out about the expo. We're like, oh, this is perfect. This is literally a fantasy football expo, and we're trying to get more people to join us. So we came last year. You were super awesome. We asked if I could even perform, and you were all green lights.
We don't get a lot of Grammy-Award winning musicians come to the expo yet. We're trying to get more. You're the number. You'll be first. You need to start bringing all your friends from Los Angeles over, Darius
100%.
Rucker, all those kind of folks, because Darius is big into fantasy. My wife loves him, so please try to get him here.
Yeah, I'll put in a word if I can.
Thank you.
But we just had an incredible time.
That's cool.
From the first party, like that setup that you guys had with the cornhole and that just that outside area, just getting to meet so many people. I mean, that was very, very cool. Going to the draft night out, doing the flag football tourney, that was definitely other than the actual expo, that was my favorite part. Cool. I did have our quarterback overthrow me, so we got an interception. Didn't make it too far, but
yeah. I think a lot of people learn from those deep passes right off the bat.
Yeah, I love that you guys are doing double elimination this year. I think
there was a lot of folks. Everybody who went out in one play all said, "We have double elimination." Yeah,
yeah. No, that's awesome that you guys you take feedback from your community and make changes and all that. We did win one game, so it was a lot of fun. And the expo was amazing. We met so many cool people. People were really open to like, oh, what they just walked up and they saw and they're like, oh, what is this? I'd like to learn more. We were doing like a promo where like if you made a wallet, like an NFT wallet, we'd give you a free card. And we had people doing that and kind of getting into the space. So all in all, it was a really amazing experience.
Awesome. No, I'm glad to hear that. And again, you guys obviously made a great impact. Because again, you guys were so new. I mean, even I was, when I think Mike who reached out, and it was from SPS, Team SBS, and I'm like, who?
No, for sure, I can imagine.
And so my buddy Nate, who created the website, Nat, I said, you ever heard of these guys? Like I even sent him the link to the website. It's like, no. I go, these guys want to be an exhibitor. I go, I don't know what they're doing, but cool. And how you said, it turned out to be amazing, and you guys had a great time. We had a great time having you there, and you're back again. So it must have worked out well. And like you said, you guys really caught everybody off guard. A lot of people were like, Spoiled Bananas. It's like, what is it? Is it a band? And I'm like, well, there is a musician in the group, but it's not a band.
That would be a good band name.
No, I'm really glad you guys enjoyed it. Glad you could be a part of it. And that's what this whole podcast series is about, is, getting people, somebody like you who's like, I don't know what to expect. What is it like? Because that's the questions I always get, is the newbies are like, so tell me about it. And I'm like, well, if I tell you about it, I'm going to make it sound like the most awesome thing ever, because that's my opinion. But if somebody like you guys say, oh no, we enjoyed it and it was successful and it was really worked out well, we're coming back, then that's what this kind of is all about. And for people to learn more about the exhibitors and the people who are coming, because that was the other problem, is like, they didn't know about you ahead of time. Now, like, we've had a couple new people already be on the show, and now people will know about them and can put a name to a face and go, oh, oh yeah, you're Richard Boris. Oh yeah, I saw you guys on the podcast. Oh cool, that'd be great. So that's why I'm glad we've gotten a chance to do this. So all right, so we're heading to 2023. You guys have upgraded to VIP, which is awesome. You guys are now a big deal. You're part of the VIP row. So talk about what you guys are hoping to do this year. The Expo stuff pretty much going to be stay a little bit fairly normal. The only thing different will be on Expo Day. We're not going to be in the hotel. We've outgrown it. We are going to be in the dome, the 100,000 square foot football field dome.
Woo! That is exciting.
This place is so big that we are going to be on the back part of the inside of this place on what's now basketball courts. And so all the trade show booths will be there, stage will be there. The whole field will actually be open for people to throw footballs around. And we're still talking about it because a lot of people are begging. We might have some fun, what they call it, things where you can do the 40-yard dash, kind of like our own little combine. People have been begging me for this. And I'm like, first person tears their ACL or their Achilles, you signed a waiver, man. But people want to do timed 40s and they want to do all those. I'm like, all right, maybe we'll have that go on during the day on Sunday because that's about the only time we can fit in. But we have this whole football field available to us. It's got a big net around it so we can throw balls around and it won't hit the actual booths themselves. But yeah, it is massive inside. We can have 3,000 people show up. Doesn't matter. So really excited about getting in the dome for the weekend. That's made we probably are going to also do the actual flag football in the dome as well. Only because I keep telling people we can't get that lucky every year with weather. The last 2 years have been a perfect 72, 75 degrees. It just doesn't happen in Canton that often. No rain. There's just no way. So I keep going. I want to keep as much indoors. I get it. Everybody loved playing on the big field, but man, I just can't take that chance. So we're going to do it in the dome as well on Saturday. It'll still be a good time and nice AstroTurf, turf field, just like what you would play on actually on the big field. And since everybody already played it, it's kind of old, right? No, I'm just kidding. It was cool. But so we're going to do that. Saturday night party is going to be just down the street from the dome, kind of a block party, outdoor kind of thing. So there's some changes, but Friday night still the same. Cornhole, live music from you. If you're still available. Think of a new super song. Can you do the ESPN theme this year? That'll be it.
100%. And I'll take requests. Anything from you.
There we go. Right. Devil Went Down to Georgia. Anything, right?
If you sing the part, I'll play the violin.
I can't sing anything.
Same here. That's I need you. I need you here, Bob.
No, I hear you. So talk about what, again, like I said, we're kind of leading into what do you guys have planned? Anything in, that do you want to kind of drop an exclusive here on folks that, hey, if you come this year, man, this is what we got planned for you.
Yeah. That's a very good question. We have a bunch of cool things that we're definitely working on this year. And we're going to have, some cool things at the Expo, kind of for new people who sign up and stuff like that. And we're planning to also do something around that weekend for SBS holders as well. There, to kind of because we had a good amount of people come out, to hang with us. So it would be awesome to do something. Of course, it won't interfere with what you guys got going on.
Fine. I mean, we got a lot of people do kind of their own things with some stuff. People want to have their own little golf tournament. They want to, do bowling. I've had people talk about they want to have a pickleball tournament now. Like we only have so much time, guys.
Yeah, no, that would be awesome. We might need the names of those places, but I would say, the biggest thing is like if it stays. I mean, it's so exciting that you guys are making it even better, which is unbelievable. But like, if we have the same experience that we had last year, I mean, that we would be more than thrilled about it. And it sounds like you guys are upgrading and growing. So, we're just very excited to be a part of it.
Awesome. No, I appreciate that, guys. Yeah. And that's my goal every year is like, I don't want it to be stale. I mean, even though we do kind of the same stuff, different places, different venues, who knows? We might get to a point where we've got a full-blown concert on a Saturday night or something. They've got the stage for it there. So there's always that potential right there on the field. They're doing a bunch of concerts already this summer. Kevin Hart's performing on it.
Wow.
They have Zach Brown Band during Hall of Fame weekend being the concert that weekend. So they've got the ability to do concerts. So maybe we'll get big enough to have our own concert in the stadium. We'll get there. We'll just let you make the connections, Richard. You just bring all your friends out. Just have one big, massive concert.
That would be sweet for you guys.
Anything else you guys want to share with the folks before we go? Again, thank you for your time tonight. Looking forward to you guys being a big part again of the Expo at 23. Any final parting thoughts?
Means a lot. Yeah, I mean, if you guys want to check us out, we're called Spoiled Banana Society. We're a fantasy football company, fantasy football game. We're pretty much very similar to what you're used to. Some of the differences is throughout the season, which is really cool, you are able to purchase, sell, trade your cards. You don't have to
your teams, your rosters.
Your rosters, right? You set your lineups, just like any other thing on our website. So it's just very, very similar. Check us out. We don't bite. We're pretty nice. We're not too spoiled. Come to our Discord, hang out, check us out on Twitter. And, we hope to connect with you guys in the Expo, man. We appreciate you guys having us. So.
Yeah, well, what Boris said, we're super excited to come back this year, and yeah, thank you so much, Bob, for giving us this platform and everything.
Yeah, no, thank you guys for coming on as always, and thank you again for being a bigger part of this year's Expo. We really appreciate that. So, for Boris, for Richard, I'm Bob Lung. Thank you again for joining us. Again, if you want to come to the Expo, go to thefantasyfootballexpo.com. Get your tickets just by clicking, of course, on buy tickets. Join us for the whole weekend. You won't be disappointed. So for everybody here, thank you so much. I'm out, and we'll talk to you again soon. Hey, everybody. Do you want to continue to learn more about the Fantasy Football Expo? Well, then subscribe to our channel so you don't miss an episode. Expo registration is now open, so make sure you visit thefantasyfootballexpo.com to get your tickets now and come and experience fantasy football's greatest weekend in Canton, Ohio this August 11th through the 13th.